Adventures in Time and Space. Transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. Ralph Waldo Emerson speculated, if the stars should appear one night in 1,000 years, how would man believe and adore and perceive for many generations the remembrance of the city of God? Now, this was philosophically interesting. But on the edge of the galaxy, there is a planet which swings on its orbit in a cluster of 6 suns. These suns hang in the sky above. Never less than 2 shine down through the entire 23.8 hours of the planet's day. The yellow light has burned down on the planet continuously into the past, till the mind of man runneth not to the contrary. Thurman was a reporter for the Cerro City Chronicle. He covered them all, from the night police beat to politics to the sports pages. And the city editor wanted him to cover the biggest story of the year, perhaps of all time. It was an interview, a particularly difficult interview. But then, since his first days as a cub, Thurman had specialized in difficult interviews. He didn't expect violence, though, from an astronomer.
You're from that newspaper? Well, you've got a lot of gall coming here.
Now, wait a minute, Dr. Aton. It's only a job.
I've read your paper. You've been riding this observatory for 2 months now. You've attacked me personally. I have nothing to say to you.
All right, look, this is your chance to get your side in the paper. I'll give it to you straight. 2 months ago, the observatory issued a press statement that the world was coming to an end. Now, that's the same story that the cult of Revelations has been preaching. And when a scientist backs that up, it's news.
Our conclusions have nothing to do with the cult. The cult of Revelations is full of superstition and mysticism. We are scientists.
Yeah. And you got the people pretty angry.
That does not matter.
You know, if I can't get the story from you, I'll have to go somewhere else.
Go ahead.
All right. You know, Dr. Aton, the paper can be pretty rough on someone who doesn't cooperate.
Young man, if you're not out of the observatory within 5 minutes, I shall call the police. Now get out.
The reporter walks down the long hall from the observatory. The light filters through the high windows, the yellow light of Gamma, the brightest of the 6 suns in the planet's sky. Beta is almost at zenith. Its red light floods the landscape to an unusual orange. The planet's sun, Alpha, is at the antipodes. And now as Gamma sinks below the horizon, the red dwarf sun, Beta, is alone, grimly alone. It's a short drive from the observatory to Cerro City, and the red light glares from the highway. The temple of the cult stands, hewn from the solid rock of the Dormite Mountains, outside the city. And in the inner courtyard stands Sor, the priest of the cult.
Woe to the unbelievers! Their souls will rot with the absence of light.
Sor, wait. Your Reverence, please. Please. Tell me, Your Reverence, what will happen? What are you waiting for here?
The day of the coming, is written in our doctrine of Revelations. It came to pass that the sun, Beta, was alone in the sky. The world was shrunken and cold. Men did assemble in the public squares and highways. Their minds were troubled and their speech confused, for the souls of men awaited the coming of the stars. The lip of the cave of darkness past the edge of Beta. and loud were the cries of men. There was no light on the surface of the world. In this blackness there appeared the stars in countless numbers. And in that moment the souls of men departed from them. Their abandoned bodies became even as beasts. And the stars then reached down the heavens' flame, and where it touched, the cities of the world flamed to destruction. So that of man and all the works of man naught remained. So it is written.
Dr. Sharon, you're the only scientist I could find in the city. Where is everybody?
In the hideout.
In the hideout?
The place bored me. I wanted to be out here where things are getting hot. I want to see the stars the cultists are talking about. Besides, they don't want me at the hideout. I'm too scrawny to survive.
Well, wait a minute. What is the hideout?
Well, we professors have managed to convince a few people that our prophecy of doom is valid. We've got about 3,000 people. They're supposed to hide where the darkness and the stars can't get at them. We hope they'll survive and leave records.
Survive? Survive what?
Oh, there are lots of names for it. The cultists have their myths.
Oh, yes. What about that? What is there to these myths? As a matter of fact, what is there to this doctrine of revelations?
I'm a psychologist, not an archaeologist. How true it is, I don't know. But the cultists say that every 2,050 years, all the suns disappear, and there is a total darkness. And then they say things appear called stars. Of course, men go mad. They mix all this up with a lot of religio-mystic notions, but that is the central idea.
Yeah. Well, that's impossible, isn't it? I mean, there are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time 4 or 5.
There are not now, only Beta.
Dr. Sharon, you mean that there's going to be worldwide darkness tomorrow? That all mankind will go violently insane? What's behind that?
Well, for one thing, this is history of civilization of the world. We've located a series of cycles of civilizations comparable to our own, all of which, without exception, were destroyed by fire at the very height of their culture.
All right. But is there any scientific theory behind this and that would explain it?
The University Observatory finished their calculations 2 months ago. Tomorrow there will be an eclipse of Beta so that the planet will become dark. That eclipse comes every 2,049 years. Darkness comes. Maybe those mysterious stars that no man has ever seen. And then, madness and the end of civilization.
I see. And the scientists expect to live through this at the hideout, huh?
They plan to photograph the eclipse and leave the records, and then the rest of mankind will know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Sharon, what is there in darkness to drive men mad?
Have you ever experienced darkness, young man?
No, but I know what it is. It's just, well, no light.
Draw the curtain.
Well, what for? If we had 4 or 5 suns out there, we might want to cut the light down for comfort, but with only Beta...
That is the point. Just draw the curtain and then come here and sit down.
All right. What? Dr. Sharon, I can't see you.
Feel your way.
Yeah, but I can't see anything.
Do you like it?
Well, no, it's awful. The walls. They seem to be closing in on me. I want to keep pushing them away.
All right. Draw the curtain back again.
The light. The light. Dr. Sharon, have you got a drink?
Right here. That was just a dark room.
Yeah. It wasn't really so bad.
You're afraid.
Yes, I am. Just darkness can do that?
This isn't just a metaphysical theory, young man. It's promulgated from observed data. Come with me.
Where?
The locked ward down the corridor.
All right.
Were you at the Sarrow City Centennial Exposition 2 years ago?
No, I was overseas on assignment.
You remember hearing about the tunnel of mystery that broke all records in the amusement area?
Yeah. Wasn't there some fuss about it? The Anti-Vice Society had it shut down?
It was shut down, all right, but the Blue Noses had nothing to do with it.
Oh?
That tunnel was nothing but a mile-long passage through darkness. You rode in a little car, and it took 15 minutes to get through. Very popular while it lasted.
Popular?
There's a fascination in being frightened when it's part of a game. Absence of light is one of the instinctive human fears. People came out of that 15 minutes of darkness shaking and half dead with fear.
Half dead? I thought there were some deaths.
Bad hearts, but that wasn't the big danger. Now, which key is this?
Wait a minute, Dr. Sharon. Where are we going?
You'll see. No, the heart attacks were actually good for business, but there was something else. Here, I'll show you. I want you to see somebody. Latimer. Latimer.
Go away.
Latimer, I want you to meet somebody. This is Mr. Theremin.
No. No, go away.
Hello?
He's pushing me. Make him stop pushing me. Go away.
I'm not touching him. What's wrong?
Latimer is afraid.
The walls. They're falling in on me, the walls. I've got to get out. Let me out.
You can't go out, Latimer. It's all right.
I've got to get out. Let me out. Let me out.
At sleeping period, we have to give him a shot of morphine. Otherwise, he'd bat his brains out against the wall.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Nothing. Nothing but 15 minutes in the darkness of the tunnel of mystery.
Oh, Doctor, that's impossible.
1 person out of 10 came out of the tunnel that way. That's why we had to shut it down.
Well, why? Why should darkness do that?
It's obvious man cannot exist without light. Longer periods of darkness would obviously be fatal. The scientific theory is that the consciousness of light is necessary for mental activity.
Please. Please, doctor, let me outside. Let me outside. Please, I can't breathe. They're pushing me. They're always pushing me. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
There you are, Theremin. That's what 15 minutes of darkness will do. Man just wasn't built to operate without light. There are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time more.
Yeah. Just 15 minutes of darkness.
Now then, look out of that window. Imagine darkness everywhere. No light as far as you can see. Black. Everything black. And the stars, whatever they are, well, can you conceive it? Your mind wasn't built for that conception. When the real thing comes, you'll go mad completely and permanently. There's no question of it. Tomorrow, there won't be a city left standing in the world.
Well, why, Doctor? Why should the cities be destroyed?
If you were in darkness, what would you want more than anything else? What would it be that every instinct would call for? Light. And how would you get light?
I don't know.
You'd burn something, and every city in the world will go up in flames. Shall we go back to my office, Mr. Theremin, and have another drink?
Through the skies, the red sun Beta shines alone. The wind howls across the city. It's cold, colder than man can remember. And as the hour approaches, the reporter goes out and speaks to the man in the street.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, but I'm from the Chronicle. I'd like to talk to you.
Ah, a reporter, huh?
That's right.
My name is Pellet. 2 L's. Remember the 2 L's.
All right. Mr. Pella, what's your occupation?
Power technician at the North Division plant.
Uh-huh.
You're making some kind of a survey, huh?
Yeah, in a way. Where are you going now?
Home for supper.
Well, how about, well, what I mean is, what are you going to do tonight?
You mean about this star stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, mister. It don't stand to reason that the end of the world is going to come boom like that. It just don't stand to reason.
In other words, you don't believe it?
I didn't say that, but it just don't stand to reason.
Uh-huh. Have you read what the scientists say?
I don't read stuff like that. Only the headlines.
Yeah. How about the cult?
Well, now, like I always say, I've got nothing against religion.
You don't believe them either?
Well, they've always been shouting about doom and sin. Listen, bud, when you've been around as long as I have, you get to know the score. It's all right to preach that Judgment Day is coming and all, but just the same, I'm putting money in the bank.
Uh-huh. Well, tell me, how about darkness?
About what?
How would you feel if there was no light?
You crazy? How could there be no light?
Well, now, suppose all the suns went down at once. Suppose everything was black.
Well, that's crazy. What's the use of supposing something like that? It couldn't happen. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Sure. Look, mister, remember, pilot with 2 L's?
Oh, excuse me, sir, but I represent the Chronicle, and we're conducting a poll to determine public opinion with regard to the predicted end of the world. How do you feel about it?
All this talk of scientific explanation. It's sinful. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. Well, then you're a member of the cult, sir.
I sure am. Been a member since I was a boy. My daddy was a member, too. I've seen the books. It's all writ down in the books.
Well, don't you believe the scientist's explanation?
Don't need it. Going to save my immortal soul. Going to stay on the mountaintop in a white robe while the stars carry me away to glory. Blessed be the stars. Amen.
Well, tell me, what are the stars?
The glory, the breath of the heaven, the spirit of the ultimate. That's what they are.
Uh-huh. Well, sir, the observatory has announced that it intends to take pictures of these stars.
Blasphemy. I sold my house, gave all my money to the poor. Won't need it anymore. Going to heaven with stars. Glory, glory, going with the stars.
The reporter checks the stock exchange, the stores. Business at a standstill. Doesn't pay to buy anything today, not if the world's going to end tomorrow. There are predictions of economic collapse in the financial section, layoffs at the factories on the edge of the city. And through the streets, the people mill and turn, unsure, crying in fear or shouting with bravado. But the story isn't here in the city. And so as the hour approaches, the reporter goes again to the observatory high in the hills.
Now, look, Dr. Ratton, if you are right, if the world is going to be destroyed, what's the difference if I stay here and observe and take notes?
Well, nothing, I suppose, but you'll be in the way. We have work to do.
All right, if I stay out of the way.
I can't be bothered with you. You'll have to leave, Mr. Thurman.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, hello, Dr. Sharon.
This place is like a morgue. It's freezing outside. The wind is enough to hang icicles on your nose. Beta doesn't seem to give any heat at all. It's so far away.
Why aren't you in the hideout, Sharon?
Me? I'm part of the race that isn't worth perpetuating. Who's got a bottle?
There will be no alcohol today. It would be too easy to get my men drunk. I can't afford to tempt them. Well, all right, Thurman, you can stay, but keep out of the way.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Well, gentlemen, I think it's time we took our positions. The observatory dome is up these stairs.
Yes, sir. After you, Doctor. What's
Up
that?
the dome, quick!
What is it?
The plates, the photographic plates, they're all smashed.
There he is. A cultist.
He's going for the telescope. After him.
I've got it! It must be destroyed. It must be.
It's all right. It's all right. He didn't harm anything. Let him up.
Well, that's the high priest, Dr. Ratton. Soar is his name. I was talking to him yesterday.
What do you want, Sor?
Nothing that you would give me of your own free will.
I made a bargain with the cult to give me certain data you had. In return, I promised to prove the essential truth of the creed.
Don't do that.
Check, check, testing, 1, 2, 3. What the hell? Check, check. Testing 1, 2. Fuck it. Yeah, baby. I'll terminate you. Yeah, baby. That's my cue. Hey, baby. I'm back. I'm here. I got the sniffles because I've been doing bog hits, man. And it gives me the sniffles. There we go. Well, looks like WW was here early. He said he'll be back. So we'll see if he's going to be back. Joey's over there in Chicago. Let's see if we get a howdy, hi, how are you from Joey. Oh, apologize for the sniffles there. It happens in the mornings. So let's see. Looks like, oh man. Pardon my stuparstius. Zoom watching. How about if I just push the button? It quit unexpectedly. That's what happened. Another drink? Yes, of course. The Omega Man. Remember that movie? I'll Be Back, Terminator. Yes. WW. I does remember that movie. It's one of my favorite Charlton Heston movies. Omega Man and Soylent Green and Planet of the Apes. 3 of my favorite Charlton Heston movies. Of course, they're science fiction. Of course. Of course, they're science fiction. Charlton Heston does great science fiction because he's like an everyman, right? Back then, he was like the everyman. Not so great looking, but always got the girls. You know. It's just a great everyman, right? Which made him great in all the movies that he did, because he just did I'm just the average everyman here. Earthquake, that's another Charlton Heston favorite. Yeah. Moses, not so much. It's a little bit long-winded. But, you know, it is a good fantasy sci-fi movie, Moses there. It is one of them. So anyway, hi, how are ya? It rained for about 24 hours. It rained from about 2 in the morning on a Thursday until late last night this morning. So, yeah, about 24 hours. 24 hours. I got more photos from the flight the kids took. They did wind up getting a window seat. So I got lots of window photos. One photo I'm curious about. I couldn't tell if it was the Colorado River or if it was a river in Colorado. No, really. It looked like they had flown over Pueblo, but I'm like, well, that's not right. Unless they were going over and then coming back in, right? So, yeah, it was probably the Colorado River. It was probably the route flying east and went over the Colorado. Because it was really green around it. And that's what that looks like. It's really green. So anyway, it's Friday, thank God it's Friday. Oh, my goodness. What a week, right? What a week. Whew, I'm whooped. I didn't have to do anything, and I'm whooped. I got a tile guy coming in to do the tile in that bathroom because I can't do that shit anymore. I could do some repair work. I could do the hell out of some tile repair work. I could even do a great tile job. I just don't have it in me to get it done. I mean, once the guy comes in and starts, he's going to be done within a day or so. If I started it last week, I'd still be working on it for another week. So, no. And then I got to charge the guy hourly, and I'd only be working a couple of hours a day every couple of days. So it would be like, dude, let's just schedule this guy in, have him. He went over, he looked at it, he priced it, he showed them some work that he's done. They said, yeah, do it. There you go. I get paid to do the demolition and the cleanup. That's it. And it needed the demolition. They had literally installed tile over the top of loose plywood that had 2 layers of linoleum laminate particle board. With no sealer, no stickum on there. Literally, once I chewed the grout away from each piece of tile, it just popped off. Because it was the glue, literally, oh, here's a piece of glue that stuck. There's a piece of glue that stuck. That was it. Most of it, none of the glue stuck. It was horrible. So, it was either try to repair it and have it happen again, or just rip it all out and do it right. And thankfully, they chose to rip it all out and do it right, because it was horrible. Let's just put the tile directly to the bricks. There's 2 walls that are brick. Literally, cinder block. You don't get any better when you're putting on tile, right? Fucking seal it up, stick it. I don't know what this guy's going to do. I've worked for him before. He's worked for me before. But I don't talk to the guy anymore. I don't. He had family issues, which I did not get along with his version of his family issues. You know, I put in 30 years. I'm done. What? Yeah. I've got me a girlfriend now. What? So you just said that you're married to this lady for 30 years. You got 2 kids. You live with her. But it's okay that you're cheating because you put in your 30 years. You've done your... It's like... That's what marriage is to you, huh? I'm off the clock now. So I walked away from that guy. And happily, too. He was a nice guy. You know? But I don't need that in my life. And I don't need to be that guy that gets called at 3 in the morning that says, hey, tell her I was out drinking with you. No. Come on, if you're a friend, you'll do that. No. I didn't even do that shit in fucking high school. Maybe in junior high. But high school? No. By then I had grown up enough. Other guys would do that. And I would just have to look the other way, right? I'm not going to rat somebody out. But I'm not going to be a party to it either. I'll just go that way. If you're going to be doing this, and I know that this shouldn't be happening, I'm over here. Don't involve me, because I don't want to have to be an excuse. I don't want to have to bail you out of a situation. Tell her, man. We were together, weren't we? You're on your own. I plead the fifth. Yeah, you plead a fifth, all right. No. The people who want to cheat on their spouse, that's their thing, okay? Don't involve me. I don't ever want to be involved in somebody cheating on their spouse. Don't ever tell me that you've cheated on your spouse, because you won't really be seeing me around much anymore, right? Well, how are you to judge me? How are you to judge me? No. I'm judging me. By staying away from stuff like that, I'm judging me. I'm not judging you. Maybe. Maybe I'm allowing you the opportunity to fucking judge yourself. Because that's what I'm doing. The judge inside of me says, don't hang around with people like that. It's not that they're a bad influence, but it ain't a good influence. And you don't need that in your life. You don't need lies and deception from people who you love and respect. And then all of a sudden they're going to tell you, oh yeah, by the way, I got this girl. We're going to stop by her house so I can pick up my jacket. What? Yeah, you want to meet her? She's my girlfriend. Aren't you married? Yeah. I put in my time. What? I pay the bills. I can do whatever I want. Whoa. 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 And for any of you spouses watching this show, no, it's not you. No. I'm not talking about your husband. Those people would never be watching the show, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because they don't watch my stuff. Nobody watches my stuff. Especially the people I know. New people. Yeah, did he say nude people? Yeah, that's what I said. Well, I hope WW comes back here. Because, well, I'd like to have the company. I know, let's see, what time is it now? It's 5, 6, 7. So it's 7. Yeah, I believe Joey's in the shower right now. If I am not mistaken. They're going to go out at, I think, 10. They have reservations for breakfast. Which is 8 o'clock this time. So, that's 3 hours from now. Joey's in the shower. It's going to take him at least a couple of hours to get his shit together, because he's the man. I walk in the shower, I'm out of the bathroom in less than 20 minutes, right? Just dragging a comb through it. That's it. That's all. You know. Shit shower and no shave. Kids these days, I mean, nowadays the guys are in the bathroom longer than the girls, right? Or at least as long. But that's cool because it shows, right? It really does. These kids look good nowadays. I mean, I thought that our little measly hour-long 2 hours in the bathroom back when I was a kid, getting all dudded up, I thought that was something. We ain't got nothing on Joey. That dude, my God, he's a fashionista. Is that what they call him? Kid looks good. I definitely like his wardrobe choices. Definitely. If I were 20 to 25-ish, right, I would be literally dressing just like Joey or just like my daughter or a combination of the both, right? And I only say that because my daughter and I have so many likes and dislikes that are in common, and the same thing with Joey. We have so many things in common. And I see the things that they wear, what they do, the things they have, and the music they listen to, and I'm like, yeah. If I was that age, that would be me exactly. And that's cool. That's where I feel such a closeness to these kids is that I can totally live vicariously through them in a snap, because we have so many similarities. It's just awesome. This is awesome. So let's see, I think this morning the kids have breakfast, and then they're going to tour the city of Chicago, do museums and that kind of stuff. They've got a couple of days to check things out, and then they're going to go to the the festival, the concert. Oh man, this is wow. I'm excited for them, you know. Luckily Joey gets to have an Airbnb and get away from those girls, because they would drive me frickin' nuts, right? As much as I love them, you kind of need to have a little bit of space, because, oh my gosh, just the giggliness. And oh man, anytime my daughter is here and she's got her girlfriends over, all I hear is giggles, 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 giggles. And my dog Sam chewing on one of them. He loves to chew on those girls. Yeah, I wish I could have gone. I wish I could have gone to Chicago with these kids, because I'm just in no condition to travel, right? Most days I can barely move through the house without falling over. The other day I got up to make myself something to eat, and it took me an hour, because every time I got up, this pain shot down from my knee, my right knee, all the way down my calf. And every time I stepped, that nerve just shot that pain down from my knee all the way to my calf. And it could have been my sciatic nerve, right? It could have been just picking up. It could have been just picking up the signal at the knee. But whoa. Every time I stood up, I'd put a little pressure on it, and it would just almost send me down. And I'm like, what? I gotta walk through the house with a cane now? What the hell? And I kept sitting down, and then a few minutes later I'd get up and test it, and then sit down and then get up and test it. And it went on for like an hour until I could actually get up and move comfortably, limping, but at least I was moving, right? Totally. The dogs are probably having the most difficulty with my daughter being gone, because they're like lost. They go to her bedroom door and they look at it and they look at us and they're like, what the hell? And then they hear a car and they all come running in here and go to the door and sit and wait. And it's driving them nuts. So I'm hoping that tonight I can talk my daughter into doing a video chat with us, so that the dogs can see her, right? Yeah, because they're starting to bug out. They're really starting to lose it. So it's Flashback Friday. Yesterday on Facebook, I announced that yesterday was Flashback Friday, which is ridiculous, because, you know, that's the wrong fucking day. I also announced Wednesday that I wasn't going to have a show on Thursday, and I did. I was here. Things were different. They were different. Yeah. Anywho, I'm just going to sit here and fiddle about and do nothing for a few minutes until somebody shows up, because, well, you know, I'm bored. I think I'm going to drink some coffee, smoke some pot, and fiddle with the guitar. Totally. Well, I'm wondering where the irregulars are. I know I've got just a handful of irregulars that stop by on occasion and hang out, talk shit, talk to each other. I like it when there's like a community thing going on, and I'm like just an observer in a conversation, right? That's always cool. Anywho. I'm gonna heat up my coffee and do a bong hit. Anybody want to join me? You're more than welcome to. It's all about hand and mouth coordination, really. Hand and mind and mouth. I always found it really challenging to play a melody on the guitar and then sing something that doesn't quite jibe with the melody, right? So you're playing one thing here and singing one thing here, and you have to keep it functioning, right? And that's what I find fun. Coming up with something that's a challenge, right? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I've got something going on. I've just got something going on. There we go. That's it. Ooh. Ooh, bong hit. A bong hit, anyone? What does this say? I think it says My Music. Right there on that little thing. What does it say? It says My Music and Covers. And Covers. That's exactly what it says. My Music and Covers. So I write up stuff and then write down the notes and stuff so I can figure it out. Else. Oh, yeah. Alright, bong hit. I swear we're going in. Cover me. Cover me. Cover me. I had 2 cheeseburgers for lunch. I made these really thin hamburger patties. And then made one for lunch when I woke up. Put my teeth in and had something to eat. And then later on, it was like, well, fuck, I don't know what to have for dinner. I was going to make a ziti, but it was too late. So I was like, you know what? I'll just have another thin little burger. So I made another thin little patty. Little cheeseburger. Nothing fancy. Just something to put some protein in me, right? Alright, cover me. And there's that. Oi. Sheena. That's a great movie, Sheena. It's not only because Tanya Roberts has some full frontal nudity in it, because she's a hottie, and I'm not ashamed to say that I am one who very much so appreciates the human form, and being a hetero, especially the female form. So it's not a big thing. It's not a hate crime to ogle somebody's nude body in a movie. I mean, come on. Why do you think it's there? It seems like that when you rent. In fact, this is probably a videotape that probably has a few glitches before and after and during some of those nude scenes because of the rewinding. Right. Ooh, let's rewind that and watch that again. That happened a lot. And then when DVD came along, it was real easy, right? Click, click. Ooh, baby. Click, click. Ooh, baby. Click, click. Ooh, baby. Right? Another reason why I really, really appreciated that 70s show was because, of course, Tanya Roberts was on it, played Donna Pinciotti's mother, Midge Pinciotti. Yeah. Anywho. What's the big deal anyway? You know, sex sells. It's just the way it is. That's the way our world is, or at least the way the country is, right? I don't know if it's in tune. It's probably pretty close. It's all a little bit high. It'll be different later on. It's a little cool in here, so when it warms up a little bit, it'll be different. It gives me a perfect E right there. So that's good enough for me. And what's really fun is writing something where you know you can't play it and sing it at the same time. It's that difficult. You can't, you write it to sing this way, but you can't play and sing that at the same time. That's the challenge, when you have to. When you just have to. It has to be this way. Well, it doesn't, how do you can't rap it has to. And because it has to, it's like why does he run home? Because he has to. It's just it. Because he has to. With my cool jams on the box, dancing to Seeger in my socks, Cammy T's the one that rocks. Right? This SoCal boy is feeling good. I'm just a cruising through the hood. But can't nobody bring me down when I'm feeling like a clown. With my cool jams on the box, dancing to Seeger in my socks, Cammy T's the one that rocks. That's a weird one. That's one that hurts the brain. Every once in a while I get it just perfect. With my cool jams on the box, dancing to Seeger in my socks, Cammy T's the one that rocks. Right? You almost just have to speak it in order to get it to line up correctly. Correctly. Totally, eh? Totally, eh? Yeah, so there you go. There you have it, there it is. There you are, right there in front of you, eh? It's Friday. I can't believe it's Friday. That means that the weekend is happening and the kids come home on Monday. And they come home Monday night, so my daughter doesn't have class Monday. She's got to bust her ass Tuesday and go to class on Wednesday. Right? Right. Totally. Totally. Totally, 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 totally. Totally. I'm saying totally because it's like totally. I'm going to turn off the comments. I'm going to go back here. And I am going to go back there to the comments. And I am still terminated. That's it. There you have it. There it is right there in front of you. No biggie. No biggie. I'm just chilling out anyway. Hello? Is there someone there? I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling lonely this morning. I'm feeling lonely. Well, maybe I do need to give it a little bit of a tune. Totally. Oh, pardon me. I said pardon me and I mean it. So don't fuck around, man. Don't be fucking around. I'll probably turn off the air here in a few minutes and do a little singing, because I feel like doing some singing. I don't have my teepses in, but I feel like doing some singing anyway. I don't want to put them in. I want my gums to heal up a little bit from wearing them so much lately. Right. Totally. Oh baby. I said no, and I mean no. Is there anybody on the other side of the planet watching right now? I know people watch incognito, so I can't see them on my counter, and I don't know if they're there until they actually comment. So if you're on the other side of the planet, or somewhere other than the United States and you're watching, send me a message. I'm interested to know how far I'm reaching. Are you hearing me in South Vietnam? Are you hearing me in South Korea? Are you hearing me in Southern Australia? I don't know why I'm sticking to the South, because I'm in Southern California. Right. I'm just curious, people. I'm just curious. If you're watching the show in a rerun, that means that it's recorded and it's not live. If you're watching it and it's not live, leave a comment anyway. Let me know where you're at. That would be awesome. I'd love to know. You know. I'm going to wait till someone joins us, and then I'm going to sing a song. But I want an audience. I require an audience in order to perform. Not that I'm a performer, or that I'm worthy of an audience, but I don't want to do it alone. An audience of one would work. I feel like doing voices today, you know? So there you go. There you are. There you have it. There it is. Any Kiwis out there? Any Aussie, oi, oi, oi? Nothing? Anyone from Japan? Southern Japan, at it. Totally. Totally, eh? Jimmy, my mommy says I can't go out because I've got blood in my stool. I almost sent Joey to the ground when I said that the other day. He says, oh my God, that's totally what Carl would say. And he just started laughing. Almost died. Jimmy Neutron, what a great show. I think we have some on DVD. I'm going to have to see if I can dig it up. Totally. I think it's like a Nickelodeon disc with like SpongeBob and a bunch of other weird stuff on it from back in the day. Yeah, totally, eh? Totally. Totally. Yep, that's right. That is correct, sir. That is correct, sir. I finished that Vietnam, The Turning Point, Vietnam series, 5 episodes, documentary on Netflix. Boy, when they got to Henry Kissinger, boy, what a weird dude. What a weird fucking dude. I mean, just to be a fly on the wall. Of course, they had many recordings because Nixon forgot that they put an auto start on his recording system in there. So he would just start talking and try and say all kinds of stupid shit. Just imagine listening to Nixon and Kissinger go on about the war. And they're both full of shit at this point, right? All they care about is the presidency and the elections and control and power and taking shit away from the Democrats. And it's just horrible. It's just bloody horrible. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Didn't Nixon write a document or a autobiography before he died? He lived in California. He was a California native, right? I have some recordings of a governor or somebody in California during the campaigning. Let me go see what I got for here. I'll be right back. Totally, man. Let me put me book. Put me book away. Let me just put it over in. And you know what? Man, it is getting a little chilly in here. If you know what I mean, Vern. Let's see if this fan works. It was on for a couple of days straight. And I was afraid it was going to seize. So let's hope it doesn't seize. So this is an audio tape, a reel-to-reel audio tape from 1974. Senator Tunney. And it's, I think, about 5 minutes? .445. 1973. 1974, 1974, so 2/8, so that's February 8th, 1973, July 3rd, 1973, these are all Senator Tunney, Tunney, Senator Tunney, and then we've got a year later on February 8th, 1974, February 22nd or 12th, I can't tell. And then January 25th, 1974. So I've got 5 tapes from Senator Tunney that I have not heard yet. And what I would like to do is set up a reel here and have it piped into the audio-video mixer. And pipe it into the live feed so we can check it out. And I need to research Senator Tunney, find out who the hell he is and what it's all about. All that says on this tape right here is number 4. I have a number 4. I also have Sermon on the Mount, Christmas Concert. And it's about 15 minutes. 16 minutes is 600 feet. Armstrong. That's all it says on the bind. But on one side it says Sermon on the Mount Concert, and then something scratched out. This one here says Madeline on the place where it says Armstrong on the other one, and then 1220, but it doesn't give a year, of course. It just says 1220. Nothing on the inside to explain what it is. It's one of those, I don't know. This one has got some stuff on the front. News, comment and commentary, August 23rd. Taped February 13, 1976. This seems like it's got a lot of French here on the back cover here. So the title production is The Way It Is, North 3 degrees. I don't understand what all that means, but this is from 1972 and 1973, aired in 1973. So this is an actual program. News and commentary from 1973, and it's not a lot of tape. It's only a few minutes. It's only a few minutes of tape. Depending on the speed, could be twice as long. This one says Side 1, Christmas 63 and 63 and 4 is what it says. 63-4. And on the back it says Nadia Belcott, 1966, Organ Selections. Organ, like organ selections. Oh, okay. So these are something that we can actually air live, but we can also record them and put them on the channel there. I think I'm going to take the rest of the month organizing my channel into various new playlists. We'll keep the old playlists, but we'll throw up a bunch of new playlists with all of the old stuff organized anew, so that it'll be easier to get through. You know. Most of the old-time radio shows are organized correctly in their correct playlists. I need to take all of the X-1 and put them into one large playlist, but keep them in their separate years as well, because that, you know, that makes it a little easier to dig through just one year. Videos. I need to go through all the live stuff again, going back and make sure that they're going into the playlist. They don't automatically go into the playlist every morning when it's done. I have to go back and go through a couple of weeks of stuff all the way back to where they are going into the playlist, and I have to physically move them into the playlist. Click, 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 click. It's a little tedious, but you get a rhythm going, and it's okay. Organizing the channel is probably the first step in bringing new content, right? We're sorely lacking in original content as far as like documentaries and shows and stuff. So I need to do that. I need to focus on some new content, original content. Working on a mockumentary, I think, would be really cool. And something that reaches far into the past, so that I could really use a lot of snippets from things from the past, right? Because I got a ton of stuff. A lot of educational films, a lot of stock footage, just a lot of weird shit that I can pull video from. And I might even also try to find some kind of story from my past, some real story, a true story from my past, to create a piece on. We had a lot of stuff going on in our area back in the 70s and 80s. So if I can find a topic that a lot of people are going to still know about, and try, like the Grand Prix, the Lake Elsinore Grand Prix, that motorcycle race was really big on the circuit back then, and a lot of people remember it. So if I could use something like that and interview people and get a lot of raw footage to use, and borrow a bunch of footage from other things, that would be cool. You know? And the thing is to just gather up so many elements, right? And then put them into little usable pieces, little snippets. And then as you're editing stuff together and following the narration and the storyboard, you can then drop in different pieces, like, you know, kids on skateboards, kids on bikes, kids in the pool, you know, adults driving, kids in the back seat, kids driving, you know, just all kinds of different things, black and white, color, old stuff. Take newer stuff and age it so it has a better feel to it, you know. Take today's stuff and totally retrofy it, you know. Totally, eh? Totally. Anywho, it's kind of quiet in here, huh? It's nice. Let's see, yesterday we had Chipmunk Punk was our album of the day. So, let me know if you guys have another idea. Because if not, I could probably come up with one. From my past. Yeah, reel to reels. I think what would be a good idea would be to just record them and put them on my channel with an upload date or a release date on them, so that I can get the quality control checks on them, make sure the copyright thing doesn't go weird on me. And then if I get no copyright hit on it, then I can play it in the morning and not worry about it biting me later. Or during the show, which is even worse. I've done that before. Start playing something and then the show just says, you can't play that. It just shuts off. Not realizing, of course, that all I have to do is stop what I'm playing and I'll come back within a reasonable amount of time. If I stop what I'm doing, it will allow me to come back. I just have to turn that off. So I have to pay attention to my live monitor in order to keep from having the show completely torn off the air. Yesterday was kind of a lull, which is kind of what today is turning out to be. But yesterday I didn't expect to be here yesterday morning. So when I showed up, not many people showed up. In fact, I don't think anybody showed up yesterday. Did somebody show up yesterday? I don't recall. I hope William comes back this morning. Because that would suck if he doesn't. That would suck. Let's see if I can go over to the tuber over here and see who I can dig up out of my friends list here, or rather my subscription lists. Totally. Oh well. Well, I mean, yesterday got some hits, but I don't know. Looks like all of my live stuff is the only thing popping up on my feed here lately, because that's all I got going on, baby. Right? Yeah. Well, I think I'm getting more views on the morning show because I'm putting more in the title, more in the description of what's happening in the morning. Totally. Subscriptions. Those are my subscriptions. I don't want my subscriptions. I want my studio. You take a look at my subscriber list. Hey, there you are, WW. What's up, dude? What's going on? I was just going to start looking for you. Like, dude, come back, dude. Oh, I lost a subscriber this morning. There you go. I wonder who that was. Bastards. Couldn't take it. Had to go running. Yeah, let's do that. Cover me. I'm going in. There you go. I was just digging through some reel-to-reel tapes this morning. I got a lot of these lying around. Good stuff. But I was watching that Turning Point documentary on Vietnam on Netflix, and it got to Nixon, Kissinger, and in the 1970s, and I'm thinking, well, my experiences in the mid-1970s, and I remember I had these reel-to-reel tapes, these 5 tapes, about 5 minutes each, of California's Senator Tunney back in 73 and 74, during his re-election campaign, I believe, or election campaign. I can't remember what it. I'm going to have to listen to them, get a reel-to-reel play over here, link it up, and get it going. Yeah, I got many player recorders. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to bring my favorite one on the show. It is the TR-3000 by Realistic from Radio Shack. It went for about $500 in 1982. I have 3 of them. One of them is in the box, and 2 of them are right here on my area here. In fact, can I Can I do this? Is it possible? Can I move my camera? There we go. I'm just going to leave it like that. And check this out. This is aimed into my living room. It's not a great shot, but it's aimed into my living room. And on the left there, of course, is Joey's bed. And on the right is my stereo cabinet with a bunch of other stuff in it. So there you go. There's that. Yes. I grew up on reel-to-reels. What are you doing? Hey, there we go. All right, my camera kept glitching. Totally. So I'm going to do that, eh? I'm going to do that, eh? Our first, like, entertainment as kids was my brother and I sitting with a reel-to-reel and recording songs off the radio and then pretending to be the disc jockeys, or making chipmunk stuff by recording it at a slow speed and then playing it at a high speed, right? And then what's really cool is you record stuff at a low speed and play it at a high speed, but then you record stuff right alongside that high speed at a regular voice. So now you've got multiple voice things going. It was great fun as a kid. And my father, being a disc jockey back in the 70s, facilitated us wanting to do that and having the means to do that kind of stuff. And then when he started at the university and brought home cameras, video cameras, then it took a whole new level. In fact, I was just looking at this AC/DC Highway to Hell 8-track, and it reminded me of when we set up a full band in the carport at our home and a camera and played AC/DC really, really loud. And the kids all dressed up like AC/DC and did a music video to one of their songs, right? And there was this one kid in the neighborhood that looked just like Bon Scott. Literally had the hat, had the jeans, had the big ass. He was totally Bon Scott. And a friend of ours had a drum kit and played the drums. There were other kids who played the guitars and stuff. And it was just really, really neat to do a lip sync music video in like 1979, right? That was fun. I wish we still had that video. Of course, we had recorded over some of my father's school stuff, so he promptly erased it and had to redo his shit. But I got all of those tapes from when we were making them back in the 1970s and early 80s, and I have a player, recorder, and stuff, and I'm just getting up the nerve to play it, and I've got to play it and record it at the same time because it may completely damage playing it, right? So I also have to table the idea of taking it to Hollywood and having it baked in a lab oven and then transferred professionally at megabucks per half hour tape. Or per hour. So there's a lot of stuff to deal with trying to get those videos on the air. And I don't have the means at this point to dig into it and get that rolling. But I can do that with the audio tapes. So I'm going to do more. I've got some of my father's audio shows from when he was on the radio. Some of those are on the channel. And I'm going to have to organize stuff better so you can find them easier. But those are fun. And so I'm going to do like an audio transfer file playlist on the channel, which will have more of this stuff and my father's old-time radio shows on there. So that'll be neat. Totally. It's about time to do another bong hit, isn't it? How come you didn't remind me, WW? Right? Yeah. Totally. It rained, man, it rained for about 24 hours out here. And that's great in the desert. You can't tell now. Usually after, a rains somewhere else, you can tell. It starts to get really green and things are clean for a while. Out here, the ground soaks it up and it's gone and everything looks dry and deserty again. But it's nice. It's so nice. It was thunder and lightning and it was really cool, Got to have the door open. Window weather is what we call it out here in the desert. You only get a couple of weeks of window weather in the fall and a couple of weeks of window weather in the spring, and that's it. Otherwise, it's either too hot or too cold. It's kind of a drag. But on days like, the last few days where it's kind of monsoony, it's a little humid, but you can still have the door open. There's a little breeze blowing. It's not baking hot outside. It's not freezing. It's just nice. It's so nice. We just got to do it twice. All right, just buds for you, baby. I was gonna say pick a band of the day, but did we already do that? Is that AC/DC now? Did we just out of the blue decide AC/DC? Highway to Hell is the album of the day. Why not? There you go. Unless anybody has any objections, this is an untested, unplayed copy of Highway to Hell that I got from a friend. Tape looks good. The pad's shot. The cover's, it's about a $5 cover. If it plays well and I can clean up this, then between $5 and $10 probably, especially if it plays well. And what I got to do is I got to seal the cover so when you handle it, it doesn't just keep rubbing off on your hands, because it'll do that too. Why is my hands black? Because you've been dealing with these old tapes that aren't cleaned, and the covers, the paper isn't sealed up, right? It used to have a decent little clear coat from manufacturing when it was printed, but that's gone now. So the best you can do is try to sponge off the dust and the dirt without taking too much of the color off, and try and brighten it up a little bit, and then spray it with a fixative. The easiest fixative is just a good coat of a satin hairspray. Right, that's a good sealer, without getting into too many harsh chemicals and stuff. So that'll something that isn't sticky after Aquanet. That's good stuff. It's not sticky afterwards. Puts a nice satin finish on it, but seals it up so it's waterproof and you can't get it all over your hands. Totally. You made a comment. Sure. I love those one. That's like talking to my wife when I'm texting. You get a one-word response. In this case, I don't know what the hell you mean. I don't. I'll just die. You have a one-word comment about 40 seconds after I say something, and then I'm like, I don't know. I'd like to respond, but I can't. So I guess that's it. AC/DC Highway to Hell. That's what it is. That's what you said sure for, right? Yeah, I know. I know. You're typing right now going, that dumbass, why doesn't he pay attention? And I'm like, I'm broke, man. I'm too broke to pay attention. Highway to Hell, AC/DC, sounds like a good choice. Let's do that. Bing. Bing. Reel to reels. I'm gonna go see if a dog wants out. I'm gonna spin this tape back in here. There we go. And I think I heard little tickety-tack toenails. So I'm going to heat up my coffee and check a dog, and I'll be right back. I knew that. Eventually, I figure this shit out. Eventually. Sometimes. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. This is Coffee Talk, and we are back. So let's have coffee and let's talk. Totally, eh? That's good stuff. All right, let me do a little something here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, images. Oh, Lord. Whoop. Whoop. Oh. 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 Yeah. Pardon me. I'm not talking, huh? I'm just sending my daughter a photo. Because I have to. Actually, I can't. Not until my wife is awake, because if I send it now, she'll hear it and wake up, and she'll be like, "What the hell? Why are you waking me up, jerk? You jerk. You jerk." No, that's not. Anyway, I can't go there. I don't know how to work the phone. How do you? Jeez. Jeez Louise. Anywho. Let's read from the TV guide. Let's read from the Bible of television here. A weekly glimpse into the past and what entertained us back then. Friday, September 22nd, 1978. The Muppet Show, 7. Helen Reddy. Ooh, Kermit teams up with Helen in You and Me Against the World. Aw. Also, at 7, Hee Haw. Bill Anderson and Mary Lou Turner. Lorenzo and Oscar. And Jana J. I don't know who that is. Love American Style. Sanford and Son. Wow. Pre-prime time was pretty good. Pardon me. I don't see... Well, that's a bummer. I don't see Hollywood Squares at 7:30. What I do see is the movie science fiction Fahrenheit 451, 1966. Ooh, I love that movie. Hey, good morning, Suze. What's up?
What's going on, baby?
So I would definitely be watching that. Also is Houdini with Tony Curtis at 8. Oh, see, that's tough. In Search Of, also at 8, Leonard Nimoy. Alien Abductions. Oh, Wonder Woman at 8. Oh, Lord. Third year. So this is the third season. Wow. That's great. So at this point, they're in the 70s. The first season they were in the 40s. Totally. There's a lot of stuff on Friday night. Wow. Unknown War, Burt Lancaster narrates film footage of the Russian Soviet-Nazi conflict. Wow. Donnie Marie is also on at 8. With Bob Hope, Olivia Newton-John, Casey and the Sunshine Band. Wow. When Havoc Struck documentary, 1937 Ohio River flood. And it's hosted by Rosemary Clooney, right? George Clooney, his mom, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm mistaken. You're mistaken, you fool. Did not even look like each other. Rockford Files. There you go. At 9. So Rockford Files at 9. Mayor of Casterbridge, drama part 3. Ooh, Bad News Bears, the original, right? It's a 78. And it is a 1976 film. So that's cool that it's on TV. I remember seeing it on TV. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah. Totally. A Jay and the John. And see, that's great. That's awesome stuff right there. A little TMI, but I love it. I love it because I do the same thing. Let's see. Wild Wild West. Also at 9. And then right into 10 o'clock. Not much on because there's so many movies going on. Eddie Capra Mysteries. I don't know who Eddie Capra is. Right? But he's Vincent Baguetta. Plays Capra. Totally. Let's see, late night on Friday. We've got at 11:30 House of Horrors. Wow. Johnny Carson with Tim Conway. Oh, that's going to be a kick. That'll be a hoot. The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938 with Errol Flynn. A great fucking movie. That'll keep me up most of the night. Fastest Gun Alive, Glenn Ford. Maverick, the TV series. At 12:30 Beretta. Let's see, I know at 1 we're going to have, Midnight Special. Performers. REO Speedwagon, Little River Band, A Taste of Honey, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Climax Blues Bland, and the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Ooh, what a show. And then a bunch of late night movies till dawn, right? Address Unknown, 1944, The Light That Failed, Rosemary. Yeah, I think it's Mother and Father. Mother and son, Mother and Father. That's it. That's a ticket. Circus of Fear, 1967. Ooh, Christopher Lee. Only Married Men. Rainbow Island. Shipwrecked Seamen on a Desert Island. It's a musical. Oh, Lord. Barry Sullivan. Dorothy Lamour. Nope. The Curse of the Cat People, 1944 at 4:20 a.m. See, it's at 4:20. Curse of the Cat People. It's a drama, but it's kooky. So I'd probably want to watch that. And then we go into Saturday morning. That's it. That's the guide. That's the old Bible of television here. Many of us back then, we lived by this thing. This was it. This was it. It's totally it, man. Good stuff. Anywho, I think I need some coffee. And probably a bong hit. I'm feeling a little crabby, crusty, itchy, flaky this morning. Like I just can't shake the sleep out of my eyes. I just cannot wake up. I keep rubbing my eyes. Smoky pipes. Yeah, they really don't. They don't make shows like those anymore. You know, even you know, Rosemary Clooney, she even had a good show. They all had good shows. You know, if you had a really good celebrity on a TV show or in the music or in the movies or something, more than likely they were given a chance to have a variety show, right? Down a cup and two bowls. I don't think so. I like to take it easy. I got nowhere to go. I'm in no hurry. Even if I have to work, it's not until 11. All right. That's right. I better load it. I better get loaded here. No, the kids are in Chicago. I dropped them off at the airport Thursday morning, and then they're in Chicago. They're going to do a music festival on Sunday. Sunday. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, Sunday is my daughter's birthday. So she's doing a festival on her birthday because that's what she wanted to do. And I'm like, all right, baby, you plan it, you swing it. And she wanted Joey to go. So she invited Joey. And she's there. She has a friend there in Chicago, which made it all easy. So her friend has got an itinerary set up. They're having breakfast this morning at 8 my time, and they're going to be doing a tour, checking out the city for the next couple of days, and then doing the concert festival thing. Peace. And then yeah, there it is. They should be having a blast. I wish I'd have gone, but I'm just old. I couldn't take the 4 days and the trip. Yeah, I'm pretty happy for him. I have no clue what the name of the festival is. They tell me these things, and I say them, and I think about them, and I try to remember them, but they don't. You know, Stinky Foot Festival. I don't know. It could be anything, really. The names they come up with, you know, for these festivals, they come and go too, because I don't remember any of them. When We Were Young festival was a festival that she did in Vegas. And it was everybody was doing 20-year-old stuff. I talked to my daughter last night in Chicago. She's having going. Cool. Awesome sauce. Pitchfork. They had a Pitchfork festival. A bunch of angry villagers. Honestly, I have no idea what it is. I know that a bunch of her favorite bands are going to be there. But I don't know exactly who's going to be there. I know she said on one stage her favorite stuff is going to be happening. So she gets to stay in pretty much one place during most of the show and then have to run to see the last people. I think it might be Fall Out Boy as the last act that she wants to go see. But there's like 80 bands or 60 bands. I know the last one she went to, there was like 62 bands and a handful of stages. So nowadays it's crazy. It's just crazy. But that's what they're into. So you just gotta arm them with enough tools to deal with stuff and send them out. So there you go. Yeah, with the last festival the kids went to together. My daughter invited Joey to the last one, so that was fun. So they're doing this one. And that's cool. The Pitchfork Music channel has a festival. Alright. 2 September. Riot Fest. I think that's it. Yeah, I think Green Day. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Right. Totally. It's a riot. Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, she likes all... There's a lot of, like, bands. She's into bands that are, like, 25, 30 years old and stuff. So my wife is always saying, you're always going to see those old grandpas. And she's like, yeah, that's her musical interest. Old stuff, you know. And most of it is 20 years or older, you know. And that's cool because I stopped listening to music about 95, and she started listening to music going back to about 95. So there you go. She knows music from the period that I gave up on and on into the present. Yeah, excellent work, Susie. Excellent. See, you're hired. Now, wouldn't it be cool if we could do a channel where we had, like, you know, a half dozen people working on different things and sourcing stuff and finding elements and doing reports, and that'd be cool. That'd be fun, you know, some kind of freelance entertainment news channel, you know. Of course, it would have to be a different channel so that we could make it monetary. You know, because that's what you got to do in order to get people to really watch your stuff. For some reason, it has to be like that. You got to have a channel that actually makes money, and then they're pushing it out there. A channel like mine, where it's a non-profit deal, and I got a lot of copyrighted stuff. They don't push my channel at all. I see some weird icons there. It's an apple and a battery. I don't know what that is. A tomato and a salt shaker. Ooh, a tomato and pepper. Ooh, now we're getting nom nom nom. No, really. Just a flash tap away. Totally. Yeah, I'm a little. I just tried to find something and save it and share it and move it, and it was like I gave up. It's my daughter's hand-me-down phone, an Apple iPhone something, and I just never took the time to learn how to use it. So I keep my old phone here as my monitor, and I use that for most of my internet stuff. iPhone and a tomato. Yeah, I'd like to beat my iPhone with a tomato sometimes, because I'm like, it's true, people of my age should not have an iPhone. We should have a big giant phone. This is what we should have. People from my age should just have this. That's all. Give me this. Make this digital. Make it so I can just pick it up and dial my number, and it goes digital. That's it. That's all I need, you know. Hello, William? How are you? That's it. That's all. Anything else is just too complicated. What would Captain Janeway do? Compliment Neelix's food. Why not? She's a pretty easygoing broad. She'd chew out somebody else, but at least she'd be nice to somebody. That's my phone. That's my phone. I'd like to have that. What would Joan Jett do? Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Yeah, I wish I could take this and make it digital so that it actually worked. Each button, each turn of the dial actually meant what it was supposed to mean, you know. Totally. That would be neat. I was really impressed when... Yeah, totally rotary. I was really impressed when... well, let's just do this, right? When I went to Best Buy, oh, wrong one, and found a video phone, and we bought 2 video phones, and we sent one all the way down to Mexico, and we tried to hook it up down in Mexico, and here in California so that we could actually video chat. And this was back in 2000, let's say 2000. And it just didn't work. The telephone lines back all the way down just would not handle the signal because there was party line shit going on. And so it just didn't work. It would go to the town, and then it would go to a couple of people's houses, and then from there it would split off and go to a couple of more people's houses, and it would be a party line. Hey, is it for you? No, it's for me. I don't know what any of these new features mean. I don't know what any of that means, right? Racking up points and advertising your channel and doing all that. I'm just not up on it. I'm not there. I'm just not up on it. I'm just not bloody well up on it. Yeah. Did it freeze? Oh, okay. I thought my monitor froze again. Damn it. Anywho. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. A hype button. See? There you go. We have a landline too. You need one phone living in a hurricane zone. Yeah, if it's an actual landline, because we had a landline out here, but it ran through our computer modem. So if we lost service, we lost phone service. It used to be that your landline had its own line and it was independent of the power. It had its own power, and it's not like that here in California anymore. So I don't know what it's like over there. We tried that for a while, and it was neat having the two phones and being able to dial out with a push button and get phone calls on that thing. But other than it being a novelty, it wasn't worth it, because basically if the electricity went out, then the server went out, our modem went out, and then the local server would go out, and everything was pointless. Yeah. So I don't know. I remember having a party line. We lived somewhere where there was my friend had a party line. Yeah. So I don't know. You have to check to see if it's an actual landline or if it's just a phone coming through your modem. Because if that's the case, then if everything goes off, you're screwed. And that's what sucks. That's why I have walkie-talkies and why I've got a CB radio that's going to go in my van, so that I have other ways of communicating with people other than these stupid little devices that they can control and turn off in your area and monitor and turn on when they want. Yeah, that's only on these phones nowadays, where you never know what the fuck's going on. And they can literally decide, you know what, we're going to turn your whole area off and not tell you. Oh, our service is having an interruption. Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not into monetizing my channel. My channel is a non-profit deal. I just thought that if we were going to work together and collaborate on one channel and give news and entertainment of the day, right, that it would be beneficial, right? And then take that and funnel whatever funds that come of that, funnel that into some kind of account that does something for somebody, not like a bureaucracy, but something to help somebody. It is a social media platform. I like to look at it that way. YouTube is a social media platform where it's all about videos and audio recordings and communication and sharing of the same stuff. So it's all about media, and that's cool. I'm a boob tube generation. So when YouTube came along, I'm like, boob tube, I'm there. Yeah. In a landline situation, you would not have lost service. Unless, of course, the landlines go down. But, yeah. Hello? 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 Operator? Hello? Hello? Oh, man. So there you go. I've got another phone. It's in a box. It's a box phone, like goes on a desk, so it looks like a cigar box, and then you open it up, and it's got a really nice push-button executive phone in there. And I had planned to work that into the show, have it mic'd, and have people call me on that and do phone conversations on that phone. And I still may do that, but I'll have to have my modem turned on and have my phone turned on. So we'll see if that ever happens. And then right in the middle, where you put your phone number here, I'm just going to put my little EBS insignia right there. Elsinore Brothers Studio. Totally, eh? Oh, look, I got a bong hit here. Why didn't anyone tell me? Totally, 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 totally. So anyway, I think putting a reel-to-reel over here would probably work. I don't think I can fit one in down here, but I think I can just rearrange this a little bit, put one up here and wire it down into my computers and into the mixer. There you go. There you go. See, and that's another thing, is I'm not doing this to make money. So that's why I thought if there was money to be made from a channel, it would have to be profits go to something, you know. To my beer budget, I don't know. There would have to be some kind of, you have to create an organization to give that money to in order to help people, right? Because that's the only way I would be able to do that. Exactly. I'm so used to being broke. I don't really look toward money because it's not my thing. It's not my bag, baby. If I need extra money, I go out and I get extra work, and that's it. Otherwise, I try to work as little as possible, you know, and spend time with my family. That's why I'm here on this. I'm not here to be a fucking slave. I'm here to spend time with my family that I created to spend time with, right? It's bad enough the world takes us and separates us so much, you know. I'm not going to go out and find more ways to be away from my family. No, I'm going to find more ways to stay home, even if I got to live really, really cheap and really, really poor, you know, and only work a little bit, you know. At least I'm here for them, you know, and I get to experience my family, you know. Yeah, no commercials on my channel. You can watch a whole video and not be interrupted, and that's fun. But if it was like a news, entertainment, like this is what's happening in Hollywood today, there would have to be commercials. It would just have to be, because that's just the way things, you know, seem set up to do some kind of a news program. You know, I might keep it non-monetized, but create your own ads and your own stupid little commercials to put in there, so people think that that we're looking at a commercial until they get to the number, and it's a 555, 5555, you know, whatever. Call now. Do commercials for stuff that no longer exists, but it's, you can find, you know, put that commercial on, you know. I was going to say something like Rolaids or Bosco, but they still got that shit, so you could do old commercials. Who's gonna know, you know? Who's gonna know? A vintage ad. Boing, 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 boing. That would probably be more fun. But then again, that's what I do with the video time machine, is just put together crap like that. Yeah, ads are maddening. I don't like ads. That's why I was gonna go monetize at some point 5 years ago. I was thinking, wow, it'd be neat to go, and then the commercials just started growing crazy, and then I was just getting ready to start actual production of live stuff and actual videos and things, and I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna go commercial. Fuck it. I just decided, you know what, it's going to be a non-profit channel, like PBS, I guess, is that what it is? And I'm just going to do my own thing, and then I'm not beholden to anybody. I've got fewer copyright restrictions, you know. I got no commercials. I got no one telling me you can't do that, you know. I got nobody coming after me for, you know, for, what do you call it, sponsorship, because I definitely don't want that. I thought, ooh, wouldn't it be great to be sponsored by this person or that person? I thought, oh great, now I got somebody telling me what to do. Fuck that. Yeah. I was doing that for doing radio commercials and stuff on my nighttime nonsense and nostalgia show. It was just, that was kind of a radio show. Cool. But I try to pick out, for the video time machine, I really try to pick out commercials from different places rather than just LA or New York, right? It's like, let's see what they were doing in, like, you know, Champaign, Illinois, right? Or is that a place? Champlain. Lake Champlain. So different places where you wouldn't think they've got a TV station, but they got this little bumpkin TV station. Here's the news on bumpkin TV station. Here's our show. Yee-haw, yee-haw. You know, so I really like those. Or stuff from like Australia or Japan or Germany or something, and look at their take on the world, you know. Oh, you saw that on my channel the other day. That's cool. I just find shit out of the blue, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got to use that, you know. I haven't done that in a while. I haven't been on my sources typing in, give me this or give me that, you know. And I probably won't get back into that until more like November, December, until I'm getting geared up to go back into full steam ahead at the beginning of the year. I'll probably do a couple of more video time machines. Hopefully I will get up to episode 30 by the end of the year. I'm not doing anything right now because of the house guests and the birthdays and all kinds of work and stuff going on right now. So I'm like, just ease up. Just do live stuff. I hope that Joey and I can do something live before he's gone next week, a week from today. The kids will be back Monday, and then he'll stay another few days and then take off on Friday. So that'll be cool. So we'll have a little more time to hang out together and goof off and do stuff. I love that kid. He's a lot of fun. He reminds me a lot of, not me physically in a lot of ways, but in so many ways he and I have so many things in common, you know, and it's just really neat. It's just really neat because I've got a daughter. I never had a son, so it's neat to know somebody young about. We should have had another daughter about his age. Totally YouTube gods, eh? I love it. So it's neat to know somebody about the age of the daughter that we should have had. And then to be he's just a really nice kid. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And he gets along with my daughter, and they get along. They're 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 funny. They're funny. They're funny. He's a lot like me, so he's always just like me. Yeah, what do you do? Anywho, I just had this flash of you're not going to believe it. An English Bobby standing outside one of those red phone booths going, "Hey you! Wait a second. Wait now." I don't know why that flashed into my head. Maybe it's the Monty Python in me. What-oh? What's that? You can't do that. Come here. Right? An English Bobby. What the hell? I don't want to say anything. Either way, it doesn't make any difference to me. It would be their thing, not mine. So I don't expect that to happen. I don't think that is my daughter. I don't think that her having that kind of relationship is. She's of that generation where kids just hook up, right? She's got lots of friends, and they hang out together, they hook up, they do hooking up. I don't know what that means. I assume that it means something along those lines, but it means something completely different to them than it did to our generations growing up, right? They don't do it the same way. The origami balls are all in there. There's just too many of them now. I think he made 6 of them so far. So we're trying to figure out what to do with them. Probably hang them from the ceiling. But yeah, it's like, and that's fine with me. I'm not going to encourage anything. I'm not going to discourage anything. I'm not going to involve myself in anything. I'm not going to go, so what's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's going on? I'm just not going to do that. That wasn't even me back when that was us, right? I was never into it. To me, it was always a private thing. God, this is a deja vu here, having this conversation. And now I understand this conversation because I've been here before, but I never knew what the conversation meant until now, and now I get it. It's not who we were back then is not who they are now. They're a completely different species of socialization, right? It's the best way I can put it. They're different. So, I think because Joey's a little older, he's a little more on the cusp of that, right? But my daughter, she's like, I think that doesn't even enter into her thought. Having a mate or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or one love, shut up. It just, I don't think that is there. And I'm not going to quiz her on it. I'm not going to, hooked up is not hanging out, right? But that's what they do. They hook up, they hang out, they do stuff together. Sometimes they just sit on the couch and text each other. I don't involve myself in her world because I know that she has the capacity to deal with whatever she has to deal with, and if not, she'll come to me or mom, and that's great. So, it's not that I'm trying to avoid it, but I'm trying to avoid seeming like I'm in charge of her life. She's always been in charge of her life, and she's done a great job doing it. So who am I to force her to do things my way when my way didn't work out so great for me? I'm here for help, assistance, to give her something to gauge her decisions upon, you know. But I'm not here to control. I'm not here to manipulate. I'm not here to quiz her on what's going on every day of her life. She'll involve me if I need to be involved, you know. She knows that I love her. You know, I show it to her every day. I let her know every day. Jimmy Jack Korn and I don't care. Immature jerks. Wouldn't you know? Get out of here. No, really? Police? Immature jerks? Get out. Spoiled. Gotta have it my way. Yeah, I don't know. I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Everyone. Even the people I can't trust, I don't think I can trust, I still give them the benefit of the doubt, because what do I know for sure, right? I gave the assholes in charge the benefit of the doubt many times, before and after we started. Both times. All these times, with all of these idiots. And, of course, I keep getting the shitty end of the stick. But am I going to give up? No. Somebody's eventually going to come along. Eventually, you would hope, you would think. You know, are we raising that generation? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. What are we raising a generation of? Sycophants and zealots and, you know, spoiled, rotten, me. My mom is still in a bridge club. Oh, that is so cool. I know people that play bridge, people my age that play bridge. That's cool. I never learned how. I wanted to learn how. I had a girl try to teach me once. She still plays, but I don't. She's from Wisconsin. Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Let's see. External hard drive. Oh, yeah. Sal. That's it. That's all. HAL 9000. That's my hard drive there. Gonna look in this HAL 9000 and see what we got here. Scanned photos. Oh yeah. There you go. 1995. Oh geez. During my Grateful Dead period. Oh yeah. Totally, eh? Oh yeah, there's a photo. There's here we go. I gotta show you guys this photo, which is myself, of course, and my sister. This is young, crazy young, weird bearded guy. Not so young. This is 95. Yes, that's Brad Pitt in her bedroom on the wall. She's an adult and she's got Brad Pitt on the wall in her bedroom. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything weird, but here we go. And that's me hanging out at her house. Totally. Exactly. I mean, most of the time it's just hanging out. It's too expensive to do anything. It's too expensive to go to the store. I'm just going to start eating air. You know? That's it. Air. Air. Air, air, air. Air. Okay, so I was talking about bridge and learning how to play bridge and never really quite getting the hang of it. And the girl who taught me how to play bridge is Duct Tape Girl. What's on my forehead? I think that was something on the slide or the photograph that got scanned. Let's see. This is Heather, and this is Andrew. And they decided to do Halloween in 1996 as Duct Tape Boy and Duct Tape Girl. So he got this coat from the thrift shop, the cast off, and covered male sheep skulls. That's great. So they got these clothes from the thrift shop and rolls of duct tape, and I remember him sitting and just meticulously wrapping this whole suit in duct tape. And hers was really cool because she did these breasts that were pointed like Madonna, and this cape was awesome. It was really cool. And that 70s shirt that he found with the big collars. Yeah, those were fun times. Fun times, totally. Mr. C is a blonde. Strawberry blondes. Who's the guy in the background? I'm going to have to go back and look at that photograph. Sure don't know. I don't see a guy in the background. Anywho, I guess we'll hang around this morning until it sounds like the house is waking up. Let's see, let me find a file that is let's go to 1988. August of 1988. There we go. And camping. Camping, I loved camping, although you probably couldn't tell by this photo because I look pretty unpretty. Right? Sitting there trying to get a fire going in the morning, trying to get warmed up in Yosemite, California. Yeah, that's me. Okay, there's my father, looking like a cop. He used to freak out all my friends when he'd show up. He'd show up with a tie and a shirt and his dark glasses on, his dark Ray-Bans, and he'd just stand there with his arms crossed. He would just stand off to the side with his arms crossed and watch. And people would be like, "Hey man, who's that guy? I think there's a cop here, man. Is that your PO?" Nice. Halloween, doing thrift shops and stuff. That's great. That's his dog Joey, the Chow. A guy had a bunch of dogs. He inherited a bunch of money, bought a bunch of dogs, and then didn't know what to do with them. So eventually we took a bunch of the dogs to take care of them. Right? And, yeah. You got peanut butter and jelly, milk, Pepsi. What do we got here in the fire? Trash. So here's, they didn't know how to make didn't have anything to make a tent out of. So my friend took plastic sheeting and created a tent out of plastic. And that's what they camped in. My other friend and I were over here. We didn't have, Yosemite. We didn't have, there's my dad looking tough. My sister, my friend Brett. Hey, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Yep, good old Yosemite. There's our tent. We made a tent out of a tarp, staked it down on the floor, and then brought it up into the tree and made a pup tent out of it. And it was pretty cool. Slept in that, except I heated up a rock in the fire and wrapped it in a towel and stuffed it down in my sleeping bag, and it actually smoldered and caught fire in my bag, and I never knew it. I got up the next day and the bottom of my bag was burned out and the towel was burned out. The rock was cold, but I could have just lit up. Whoosh, right? Spontaneous human stupidity. There's me sitting in a tree with my camouflage jacket on and my love beads. Nike high tops, probably. Looking out over Yosemite. And there's my friend Andrew. And Andrew and my sister had this little tent set up in here. And we just brought a bunch of... We didn't really have a camping setup. It was just a bunch of shit that we gathered. There's our other dog, Muttley. He was just a mutt, but he was just a awesome dog. Awesome dog. Smart kid. And this is what we drove up in. The lady taking the photo is his mother and my father's girlfriend, which I hated. It drove me nuts. But there were 6 of us and 2 dogs packed into this car with shit piled on the roof and shit piled in the trunk. And shit piled in the car. It was crazy. But we did it, and we had a blast. But the fact that we all of that shit and us packed into that fucking little Ford LTD. That was crazy. Nowadays, there's no way people would want to do that, right? Oh, get off of me. Oh my gosh, the dogs, no way. I can't use my phone. What's going on? I just want to get comfortable. Stop touching me, right? It's just, yeah, different times. It's just totally different times. I don't think it could ever possibly be something like that for most people nowadays. There's just no way they do that. Wow. Well, a lot of fun. Muttley. I mean, look at that. What is that? 2 spare tires in there? Along with all the crap? Jeez Louise. And the 2 dogs, right? Dogs in laps on floors. Oh my goodness. Here's me coming back from that tree. My sister, did you have fun? No. Leave me alone. Us having lunch up in a rock at Bridal Veil Falls. He brought MREs, and we ate MREs and hung out, got high. And then on our way down from here, from up at Bridal Veil Falls, we came upon an emergency team, 2 paramedics who were responding to a guy who had broken his ribs on the rocks. Right? And I probably told this story before, but we had to help him down off of the rocks. And it was a pretty big deal for us. Yeah, she thought she was cute. Well, let's see. She dated everybody in this photo. And I could probably dig up more. So there you go. I wasn't allowed to date cute guys because it would cause problems. Did I say date cute guys? I wasn't allowed to have cute guys as friends, right? Because, yeah. This was a conflict. But she didn't seem to mind. Since then, she's married, he's married, he's passed away. Never married. He had his heart broken too many times. He never recovered. Their faces really say it all. Well, anyway. Anywho. Yeah. They'll never watch this show. At least I know 2 of them probably won't. One of them definitely won't. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying so. That, yeah, he had his heart broken quite a few times. A few times his own reason. His own fault, perhaps. But I'm sure there were a lot of times where, you know, just because we're men don't mean we can't cry. It was an unfortunate situation. He was off in construction doing a job and was in a room by himself and alone in another state away from home, and his heart failed in a room by himself. There were other circumstances, but that's the gist of it, you know. And it was, I don't like to get into people and talk about them and stuff too much, unless they're family. But yeah, it was an unfortunate situation, you know. And I had been trying to get a back and forth going on between us, but he was just always in a bad place and didn't feel like, from what I understood, just didn't feel like he was worthy of having any contact with the past. And that sucked because I love the guy, you know. He and his mother and brother all were very close friends, and his mother took me in when I was a kid. And all 3 of them are gone now. The mother and the 2 sons, they're all 3 gone now. And I only had a brief chance to reconnect with the 2 boys on Facebook before they both passed away. And the mother had been gone for 20 years, and I had found out about that, and it was like, wow. What is on my shirt? This is 1978 Rolling Stones on tour. And I saw the Rolling Stones in 1978 at the Angels Stadium in California, in Anaheim. It's a great story. I think I've told the story before, where my father, were driving down the road, me and my brother and my sister and my father, and he hears on the radio, KMET, that they have a block of tickets left for the Rolling Stones concert today. And he got off the freeway, got to a payphone, won the tickets, went down and picked them up. Actually, he had to just go to will call. And so we went to the store and got food, took it to there, got in line. We weren't allowed to take the food and water in. but we were allowed to take our blanket in, and the weed he stashed in his shoe. I think that is honky tonk woman, brother. Baby. And so we got in, and it was a great show. Peter Tosh, Christopher Cross, who else? Somebody else. They had a skydivers, right, coming down with smoke, colored smoke, and doing tricks and stuff, and landing in the parking lot. They had a high wire act set up, and doing a guy on a bike and juggling and all kinds of weird stuff. I know they had like 5 acts. I just, at this point right now, this morning, I can't remember what those 5 acts were. I'm going to go heat up my coffee. But I saw that when I was 10 years old. Were they the same girl? Because he could have been. You know, he was a one-woman man, right? Yeah. Totally. Yeah, boy, my daughter's really paying for this trip to Chicago. I mean, not only is she paying for the trip, but she's got to kick ass at doing schoolwork, right? She was doing schoolwork right up until the day before, and then the day before it was just packing and getting ready. And then as soon as she gets back, she has to start doing makeup work. Most of her professors have set it up so that she can do makeup stuff after the fact because she got with them ahead of time, and she's their favorite student, so that made it easy. Yeah, Sail and Take Me Away. Christopher Cross was filling in for Aretha Franklin, I believe, because she got sick. And Peter Tosh came back and filled in for the Outlaws, who got busted in the South with marijuana. But it was a great show. It was a great show. It was during the middle of the day. I don't even think it was happening at night. It was like middle of the day, in the middle of summer. And it was fun. It was fun. Pot everywhere. My sister has 3 kids. 2 kids. I think she's got 2 kids. I'm going to say 2. Right? I don't do much back and forth with my family. I'm the black sheep of a black sheep family. So I don't get too much information. The Russell man, totally man. My brother has 2 kids. They're all adults. I believe my sister's youngest is still in school, high school, maybe high school, something like that. I would like to have some contact. We're just strange. Yeah, like I said, I'm on the black sheep of a black sheep family. So and honestly, I don't even think that I'm a full-blooded member of the family. So I'm kind of treated like that. The last to get told about stuff, the last to learn about things, and the one who doesn't get invited to things. Yeah, I'm that guy. And it's just easier for them because I'm a difficult guy, apparently, to deal with. And I am, because I require honesty rather than bullshit. And if I happen to be too honest, people just want to turn me off. So they never turn me on in the first place. Like, I have family. My sister used to watch the show and comment and stuff. And then she wanted to pretend like we were best buddies again. And I had to explain to her that we were never that. And we're probably never going to be that. But if you want to get to know each other on a new level, that's great. And I'm open to that. And that was it. It's like, how dare you? I was too honest. So I get into trouble that way. It's unfortunate, you know. I love them both. We just don't like each other. And I don't know if they love me or like me or whatever. You know, we shared a past. But we don't share much now. I try to do a back and forth with my brother because he and I are on a little bit different level. But it just doesn't work. You know, as much as I want it to work, it just doesn't work. You know, because I can't be allowed to do things on my terms without it being offensive to others. Like, how dare you talk about that? How could you talk about that? You're talking about that too much. And it's like, well, you know, okay, then I'll go back to my show. Yeah, the truth does hurt, you know. So, and that's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that, you know. Not everybody has to get along. Not everybody has to like each other. I've never really gotten along with or liked my family most of my life. So why should it be any different now? Right? And I've never gotten the feeling that I was liked or appreciated in the family, or was even really 100% part of the family. Right? I always got the feeling like I was a redheaded stepchild. I was something that came along that they didn't really want, but they accepted it anyway. And I really got that from my mother and father. And I got a lot of just weirdness from my siblings. Like, they knew something I didn't. You know, like Dad had told her and she had told him, or something was going on, you know. And it was weird not to really start to put the pieces together until both my parents have passed away. And I hear stories about different things from my past and their past that kind of ties a bunch of weird shit together. You know? Like honestly, the other day I was talking about how I would have just nasty, matted, tangled hair with big mats in my long hair. As big as your fist, tangled mats. Balls of tangled hair, right? And dirty face and dirty clothes, secondhand stuff, hand-me-down stuff, thrift store stuff. And my brother and sister would be clean, combed hair, clean face, new clothes. And now I get it, right? Now I get it, right? Where it was okay for us to not brush his hair every day, but we got to brush hers and his every day. Now I get it. So yeah, the truth hurts. The truth really hurts. So, and I don't dwell on that stuff when I'm talking to them. I try to just be in the now. But that stuff's always in the back of my mind. How come you never told me? You know? You obviously know. And if not, you know something. Right? Like to hear from my brother the story that he was told years ago that my mother used to drive around with him in a baby seat in the back and me in her belly and her out looking for drugs and stuff to get into and trying to pretty much self-abort, right? So that makes me like, oh, okay, there's another little clue. Yeah, strange days indeed. So like I said, I try not to dwell on it, but it is a mystery to me, and I love a good mystery, so I'm willing to go and find out what it's all about. And I think at some point I'm going to do a DNA thing with my brother and find out if we're 100% or only 50%. What would be really scary is if we're 100% related, but only on her side of the family, which would mean, of course, something really strange. So, yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the right moment. And it's just never happened. But I got a bong hit here, and that's going to happen. Nobody's awake yet. So that's cool. Yesterday, my wife and I, our schedule was thrown off completely because of the kids to the airport, getting up in the middle of the night and taking them, and my wife getting up and hanging out, and then getting up and going to work, and then coming back and trying to get in a nap time. And it was just, so yesterday was weird. So she's probably still tired, right? And so it being Friday, I'm hoping she's just going to sleep in because she needs it. I don't get much sleep at all, and I'm used to it. So for me to get up at 1 in the morning after a couple of hours sleep and run out the door and drive for 2 hours and then come back and do my show and then hang out, and that was nothing, you know. I could do that all the time. I just have to, my mind just goes to a different place, right? I switch to a different gear. You know, I've got this gear in my brain for doing stuff, and I just go in autopilot. Yeah, back to the airport and home, I was going pretty slow. Yeah, we don't look alike, especially as kids. Let me see if I can find a photo of us as kids. Family reunion. Here we go. Let me see. That's a horrible picture. It's too bloody far away. Let's see, mid-70s. Mid-70s, 1980. Bloody 80. I'm lost in photos here, but yeah, you're right. We don't really look alike. My siblings and me. We have different noses. We have different skin tone. We have different hair. We have different facial structure, right? We just don't look alike. My brother and sister, they look like each other, but I don't. I looks like some kind of mutation, some kind of oddity, some kind of freak of nature. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't really find a good comparison photo at this point, so I'll just leave it at that. I will show you this family reunion photo, right? And this is a cool family reunion photo, pardon me, of us kids. All right, so there's me, my brother, my sister, my cousins Tina and Elaine, my cousin, actually, yeah, these are my cousins, my father's sister's kids. This is my uncle. He's a year older than Robert, my brother, and he's our uncle. And then all these girls back here that are in junior high and high school, they are my aunts. I can't remember who this guy is back here. I think this is Pete. Oh, Bob. This is Bobby. This is the oldest of the kids, my grandfather's kids. So my grandfather had 3 kids from his previous marriage, and then had these 5, 6 kids in his last marriage. And these are the only 2 here that don't come from a twisted family tree thing. But these 2 have the same nose, the same eyes, the same chins and face and stuff. And I'm just I'm like an alien. I'm like a doorstep baby. I'm totally like a doorstep baby. I've got my own theories on where I come from, and it scares the hell out of me. Totally. Totally. A lot of my fears are put to rest because of my daughter and how well she has her shit together. So it makes me think, okay, well, if I come from this fucked up, twisted, gnarly family tree, this broken, nasty branch, it's okay that she is a new sprig of life coming from that, right? She's different, right? So that's cool. There was a point in the late 90s, early 2000s, where I had seriously thought about changing my name and taking on my wife's last name, because I was so frustrated with my own family that I didn't even want that connection, right? Seriously. I even when I wrote my father a horrible letter, I told him that. I said, I'm going to change my fucking name. I'm so sick of you fucking people. I was just so, you know. So yeah, my family and I completely estranged. I don't have any contact with my cousins or aunts or uncles. A little bit on Facebook here and there, but I'm literally the black sheep, and they'll be like, wow, God, how's it going? You know, and then they'll read a few posts and they'll go, oh my God, we're out of here. He thinks differently, and we won't allow that, you know, and that's where I get in trouble, where people judge me because of their own lives. They refuse to have me in it because I'm different. I'm too different, right? I think different. I have, you know, yeah, just, I don't get it. As far as I'm concerned, everybody can do whatever they want as long as it doesn't affect anyone else other than them. Then do whatever the fuck you want, you know? Go in the bathroom and shoot heroin or jack off or both, or fucking, I don't care. Do whatever you want. As long as I don't have to clean it up or be involved or, you know, whatever. You know, it just doesn't matter. People should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. If they want to do a slow fucking suicide and drink themselves to death, that's their fucking choice, you know? If they want help, they'll ask for it. If they don't want help, maybe they don't fucking want help. You know, don't force people to do something they don't want to do. And even if you think it's for their own good, it's for your own good. You know, I get it. I get it that it hurts you to watch that. You know, but come on, is it really your fucking choice? You know, there's going to come a time where people aren't going to be put on suicide watch anymore. They're just going to be given the fucking means to take their fucking pill and kill themselves, right? Because we're going to see it as population control, whittling the population down, culling the herd, you know, what do they call natural selection, right? It sucks, but that's just the way it is, you know. It fucking sucks. But sometimes there's nothing you can do about it and nothing you should fucking do about it. You know, because at some point, it's not your fucking choice anymore. It's that person. Well, they're not in their right mind. Who the fuck are you to tell somebody they're not in their... Are you in their mind? Well, I have a degree, and no, you fuck your degree, you know? You're never going to get inside somebody's fucking head. You're never going to know 100% for sure and for certain you're doing the right fucking thing. And if you're prescribing something, that's probably not it, right? If you can't work things out naturally and finding the real reason for these problems, if you're just going to mask it with shit, well then, you get away from me. I want some real fucking solutions, you know? And maybe sometimes the real solution is just to let them have at it, you know? It sucks, but, you know, sometimes life just sucks, you know? I was there, you know? I had to work through it all. Sometimes you can't work through it. Sometimes you need help, but you have to be willing to ask for it, you know? And as long as we just let people know that we're available, I think we'd have less suicides. Even though it's legal, let's legalize suicide, but let's also give people the means to make a different choice and to have a better life, rather than just go down that route, right? You gotta give one with the other. I'm not saying, yeah, let people off themselves. Give them some fucking help. But also, you know, you have to be ready to just stand back and say, okay, you're in a lot of pain, whatever pain that is, and you just don't want it anymore, you know? We get it. This is what we can do. After that, you're really on your own. Unless you want to take a bunch of pills, if that's what you want to do, that's there too. But I just don't know. I don't see a lot of humanity in humanity these days. It's been washed out of us. The media's washed the humanity out of us. We've been overly emotionally stimulated by bullshit on our phones. So when it comes to reality, it's like, let him hang, let him die, you know, let him this or that, right? I'm guilty of that shit all the time. You know, I see pictures of people on Kensington bent over, the bent people, you know, lying in their own fucking shit, you know, and I'm like, you know what? There's people out there trying to help these people, and they ain't getting helped. They don't want to get helped. You know, and that's natural selection. You know, and that's a harsh reality. But, you know, what do you do with them? Round them all up, put them in tents, and give them a choice. Here's a tent filled with all the trank you want. Go end your life. Here's a tent with food and showers and rehabilitation and all of this other stuff. Hey, there's my daughter. We're getting breakfast soon. Nat's almost done getting ready. Cool. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to send images. Am I trying to send a photo here? But I can't. Let's see, images. Sorry. Totally, eh? There you go. I sent an image. It worked. Well, it was a moving image. And it's sending. Hey, and there it went. Okay. She'll know what the image means. She got it. long as everybody's... There we go. All right. Good. Good. Half an hour. Good. What's that movie? No, really. I'm just having a little bit too much fun here this morning. I am. It looks like I am still joined by somebody this morning. And now the kids make me want to go out and have breakfast. Right? It's like almost every morning Joey was here, he'd get up and my wife would make a big breakfast, or Joey would make a big breakfast and they'd have breakfast together and stuff. I never had my teeth in that early, so I never took part in that. But it was, my wife's like, boy, I'm going to have to get more eggs and bacon and stuff. Gosh, this is fun. Because I'm not a big breakfast person. Later I can do breakfast, a big breakfast. But not early on. For me it's like coffee or a muffin or cereal or something easy. But it's neat that my wife and Joey get along so well. It's pretty cool. And that Joey and I get along so well. And my daughter and Joey get along so well. It's cool. You know, I love having, the opportunity to have a new family member, you know, in whatever capacity. In whatever capacity that is or turns out to be. It's just nice. It's just nice. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm never going to force the issue. It is what it is. I don't think it could ever be anything more than what it is. But you never know. You never know. So there you go. I got another bong hit here. Bong hit! Bong hit! So it looks like I got a last bong hit. I have a last gulp of coffee. Oh yeah, a couple of gulps. Oh, I know. There it is. Okay. There it is. So the photo I was looking for is right. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Is it here? Oh, it better be here. Arg. Arg. Yeah, I always felt like an oddball in the family. I really did. I always felt like I was somebody different, right? Like I didn't belong. I always used to see that thing on Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. And that used to be me. That's the way I felt. I am not like the other things in this picture, right? Oh, wow. I thought there was a close-up. But this will have to do. There we go. So I should have looked more like this here, but I was more like this here. My hair was really, really light, and I had a different face. I had different eyes, you know, gray eyes and light complexion, and they both bronzed real easily, and I would blister. And this is where we lived in 1974, 75, 76. I think in 77 we got kicked out of this and we moved into a tent, and my mother moved in with a friend, and we eventually moved into a place in Fallbrook, a little town in between LA and San Diego. But yeah, I was an oddball. Even younger. And I looked more like my mother, but less like my brother and sister and father. Less like my brother and sister, and I looked nothing like my father. Eventually, I began to take on a lot of his mannerisms and speech pattern and stuff, and his voice. But that was environmental. It didn't seem like it was inherited. Right? So there you go. And yeah, just look at this. She's already starting to get brown, and I'm already starting to blister red. Totally, eh? Totally. Ah, the canyon, Sierra Madre Canyon, the motorcycle, and the Jeep. I wish I could find this. If I did a search, I could probably find out where this vehicle went, what happened to it. Did it get totaled? Is it destroyed? Did somebody salvage it? Is it still out there? Who knows? Right? The Canyon House. It's my babysitter. My mother and us 3 kids with the babysitter. All right, let's try that again. The bridge in the back of our house. And here's me, lonely boy. A moment of silence. Anyway, the past. Oh, joy, the past. For me, the past was usually this. Pardon me. That was usually it for me. Most of the past was that. Because I didn't know. Nobody would tell me. I was always lost. I always felt like somebody was holding back on me. Holding back on me. I think we're just going to stick around till 8. The house hasn't woken up yet. My daughter's getting ready to go out to do breakfast here soon. Undoubtedly, my wife got the message. And has decided to remain in bed, which is cool. Because she's the glue in the family. She's the one that holds everything together. She does the most in the family. So I'm always doing my best to say, hey, take it easy, take a rest. Let me get that for you. Can I make you something to eat? Here, I'll wash those dishes. That kind of stuff. As best I can with my stupid body and having to compete with all of that crap. So, yeah. I think the best time we do together is when we're working together or just hanging out together. I think that's the best, right? Hanging out together, doing anything, really. Working, shopping, just driving around, sitting on the couch. Doing stuff, not doing stuff. I gotta think about what I'm gonna get going on today. Because I really don't know. I really don't know. Something. Hopefully, get a lot of photos from the kids. I'm just trying to come up with a message. It's hard sometimes. You want to say the right thing. I try to use my head, just like, think before you speak, think before you text, make sure that you're saying things appropriately and you're getting the right message across. So sometimes I'll start a text and it'll take me all day to write it, just because I want to, do it right. Sometimes I don't even send it. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll try to write a text and then just not even send it. Family is pretty rough, Family is a rough thing. So, here's my family in 1972. Yeah, they flew to Chicago from Palm Springs through Denver. So, here we go. This is 1972, I believe. That's my mother, my brother, my sister, and myself. We just came back from Mary's Market in Sierra Madre Canyon, and it's a full-blown hippie community. So most of the kids were half-dressed, and most of the parents were either half-dressed or nude. That's another good one. There's my father, and he's 3 or 4 years out of Vietnam at this point. So his hair has probably grown from a crew cut to this length at that point. Actually, it's grown out from working at a few different jobs before he gets to this point. And at this point, he's a college student in Pasadena. And he's also working part-time at a veterinary hospital, working with animals. And because he didn't have the heart to euthanize any animals, anytime somebody brought in puppies to be put to sleep, or kittens to be put to sleep, or broken animals to be put to sleep, he would take the puppies and kittens, we'll put them to sleep, and then he'd just bring them home. And then he would take the broken animals, fix them, bring them home. And he wouldn't just bring them home when we had 1 million animals. He would bring them home, and when people would come over to buy drugs, they would see these animals, right? And they would be like, can I get this cat for my wife? And so he would always find homes for these animals, right? Because a lot of people were coming through our house. So he was able to get homes to a lot of these animals. This is 1973, so I'm about 5 years old at this point. Putting on a happy face. I'm happy because I'm listening to my music. It's a little Fisher-Price record player, and I'm listening to Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head and Puff the Magic Dragon. And you can see my fingers up in the air doing the little music thing, because I knew the music thing. And you can see the mats in my hair and how dirty my clothes are, right? You can see how puffy my hair is right there, because there's a big gnarly mat under it, there. And I look back at this kid and that face, and man, what a different person that was, right? Oh, did he talk about Vietnam? I'll tell you, he talked about Vietnam like you would not believe. When I was a kid, at that age, 4 and 5 years old, is when I first heard about Vietnam. And he never held back. He told us flat out things that happened there. I was watching that Turning Point documentary on Netflix about the Vietnam War, the America's war in Vietnam. I'm sorry. It wasn't their war. It was the America's war in Vietnam. And they got to the point to where they were talking about fragging officers, which basically means you chuck a grenade at one of your officers and it just blows them up. And then they can't tell what happened, right? Or they would get so injured that they would be taken out of commission. And yes, he talked about actually fragging. He was actually I wouldn't say in on a fragging of an officer, but he was definitely somewhat involved. And they didn't use a grenade. They waited until it was an air raid. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different experience. What they did was they snuck into his room while he was asleep, and they lit his mosquito netting on fire. Because he was getting people fucking killed left and right. Some lieutenant dickhead, straight out of the real world, and he came there with all his West Point bullshit and was just getting people fucking killed because he was playing shit by the book and he had no idea what the fuck he was doing. And that's what got officers fragged, was their inability to see things from all sides and adapt, right? And they would definitely, wait until an officer was way up front, and if he wasn't getting shot up there, as soon as he turned around, they'd shoot him in the fucking head. He was facing forward. Just chuck a grenade at him. Chuck a grenade into his hole. Everybody'd leave him alone, and somebody chuck a grenade in. They would literally draw lots, or do what they called everybody just threw money into a pot, right? And when the pot got big enough, it would be given to 3 guys, and one of those 3 guys would carry it out, but nobody would know who, right? Maybe all 3 of them. Crazy stuff. Yeah, he used to tell me about some horrible shit. Guys cutting off ears and fingers and noses and wearing them as necklaces. Horrible shit. And he claimed to never be involved in any of that horrible shit. He wanted to be able to come home and sleep at night. And he didn't, of course, because you can't after something like that. But come to find out, after he passed away, that I'm talking about Americans killing Americans. That shit was regular over there. It was. He had a girlfriend over there and left a child over there. Yeah, Americans killing Americans. That's not uncommon in war. Especially when you're fighting a war that shouldn't be fought. Right? We started the war in Vietnam. They had a little quarrel going on between the North and the South, and we stuck our fucking noses in. And we laid down more bombs in South Korea, Cambodia, and Laos, and North Korea, more than we laid down during the entire time during World War II in Europe. That's a lot of fucking bombs for that little tiny area, right? They killed people by the thousands and hundreds of thousands, right? American soldiers were given free fire areas where they could just walk in and kill everybody in the village. Women, children, everybody. Because they were told that they were VC. Kill them. You can kill anybody in this area. Go for it. And they would. In any way they wanted to. Yes, my father was involved with a Vietnamese girl in Vietnam in 1966-67. And so right around the time that he fathered a girl, or a child, he fathered a child in Vietnam. My mother fathered a child. My mother got pregnant back in the real world. Because he was, at the time that I should have been conceived, he tells a great story about a helicopter rescue that they did over Christmas, which would have been 9 months before I was born. So, and then it was later after that, later on in the winter of 67, that so 66 went Christmas of 67. I'm sorry, 68, right? The early part of 68 is when I believe he came back, and in the spring he was an MP of Northern California. So it was like, it wasn't possible for me to have been conceived at that time with them. So there you go. So, but at the same time, he was doing the same thing in Vietnam. So it's, you know, so that's what made him like, oh, I can't just throw this kid out or disown this kid, even though I was born and put into a foster home immediately until they figured things out. Because I have memories, and I have this middle name that means nothing in my family tree, but it does mean something to the family who cared for me. My name should have been something else, so they just tacked my last name onto that, right, with the birth certificate. Anyway, yeah, Vietnam. I got, as a child, and through much of my life, I kind of got that inherited PTSD from my father's situation. Hearing those graphic stories as a child and having an imagination that could fill in the blanks. Seeing documentaries and books and photographs openly as a kid and growing up. His whole, let me turn this on here. Home life coming back was kind of weird, of course, because Vietnam veterans, they don't really sleep when they come back for the first 5 or 6 years. They're always awake really quick, and all you had to do was look in my father's direction when he was asleep, and he would just, he would be wide awake, right? And he would be like, and he would do this. He'd be what? And he would reach for his chest, because that's where his gun would be laying. And for most of the 70s, he would be like that. What? And then through the 80s, he would just lie there. And you knew that he was awake, but he wouldn't react, right? And then I kind of lost touch with him throughout the 90s. But I know that his dealings with Vietnam and his post-Vietnam life changed as he got older. And yes, you're right. Most men didn't talk about that. And because my grandfather did not talk at all about his war experience unless he was at the VFW with a bunch of drinking buddies, then they could talk about it. Other than that, he never talked about it. So because of that, my father was very open about his experience. Last gulp. So, and me being kind of an oddball in the family, it was easy for him to talk to me about all kinds of shit. Because he wasn't telling his son, he wasn't telling his daughter. That's the way I felt. He was telling me. It was always weird. It was always felt like there was something going on that I wasn't privy to, you know. It was just weird. But Vietnam, he was always open about. Too open, right? Way too open. For kids, anyway. It would have been great had we heard about it later in life. But, you know, it is what it is. So I got kind of a PTSD from it. That was an inherited. My grandfather was in World War II. At the end of the war, I believe. Toward the end of the war. And there was a while back where I had the family tree and dates, and I searched things, and I don't remember stuff too well, so it's not like it's right here. It's in a file somewhere, the dates and the names and that kind of stuff. And I also created a fictional past using one of my father's characters from the 1970s that he did videos on. right? And took that and then built a family tree around that using my own family tree, but his family tree and this character's family tree, and made them kind of twisted together. And as it turns out, reality is stranger than fiction, because my family tree is so twisted and gnarled you would not believe who's humping who. It's crazy. So at some point I'm going to do the research and line everything up and see where it goes askew. Doggies. Hey, doggy. Yeah. Crazy stuff. All right, it is 8 o'clock. War is definitely hell, no matter what war or who you are or where you are. If you are in the middle of the war, it is probably the worst place to be. However you're there, in whatever capacity, right? It just sucks. So, yeah. All right, I guess I better wrap things up. I got to eat some breakfast and do something today. I got to do something, right? All right, you guys, y'all need to take care of yourselves, right? Enough of the bullshit, no bullshit. No war, just no bullshit. Just be kind to each other. Spread peace and love, not bullshit, not war. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because you can. Makes you feel good, makes somebody else feel good, makes the world a better place, makes you a better person, right? Snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. A foo bar, fucked up beyond all recognition. And Dee Dee Mao, I'm gonna get the Dee Dee Mao out of here. All right, you guys, take care of each other. Most especially stay weird, because if you ain't weird, later, bro, ain't nobody gonna be weird for you. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta do the work, right? Take care of each other. That's weird nowadays. Look at somebody as a relative instead of a stranger. Definitely see you Monday. I pick up the kids in the evening, so doing a show is not a problem. Love you guys. Take care of each other. What more can I say? We are one family, all right? Oh, yeah, that's right. Adios.